Friday Night Lights. Here's Sports Director Josh Copley.
It is a cool September night here tonight in Williamson County. Welcome to WNKX Live on YouTube and Facebook. We will also be going live on the radio station on 96.7 here in just a few moments. We thank you for joining us. We are so excited to bring you tonight's presentation of Hickman County High School football. And tonight, we are on the road. The Bulldogs made the drive northeast to Fairview to take on the Yellow Jackets, and it should be a good one tonight. Now tonight, the Hickman County Bulldogs enter in 1-1 on the season after starting off the season strong against Harpeth. Of course, they fell last week to Waverly by a final score of 43-20. Now, the second and third quarters in that game were pretty nightmarish for Hickman County. It seemed very uncharacteristic from what we were used to seeing from these Bulldogs this season. They surrendered 22 points in the second quarter and then 21 points in the third. Now, if you want to look for some bright spots in that football game, they were able to hold Waverly scoreless in quarters 1 and 4. Now, some notes from that game: there were 0 pass attempts from the junior quarterback Andy Kraft, but I got a word with Aiden Weber, who's usually my color commentator for tonight, but he's not with us this evening. But the vibes are good around Hickman County High School. He said Coach Smith doesn't want these guys dwelling on these losses. He wants them to look ahead to the future, and they have a tall task ahead of them tonight in the form of the Fairview Yellow Jackets. So we just heard a rendition of the national anthem, which means we are only a few minutes away from kickoff here tonight. Once again, we are live in Fairview and Williamson County as your Hickman County Bulldogs are on the road against the Fairview Yellow Jackets. Now, something to note here tonight: both Fairview and Hickman County are both 1-1 on the year. Both teams coming off of tough losses. Fairview last week lost to 5A school Centennial 48-22, but in week 1 they were able to take care of East Hickman by a final score of 47-18. Now, looking over to the Bulldog side of things, Hickman County also had a commanding week 1, defeating Harpeth by a final score of 39-14. But both schools coming off of tough losses last week, looking to make things right here tonight. And folks, once again, we thank you for joining us here on the live stream. Whether you be joining us on YouTube or Facebook, we encourage you to share this with your friends who weren't able to make the drive here tonight. We're so excited to bring you this action. It's always a good time to watch some Bulldog football, and it is a crisp, cool evening here tonight, probably thanks to the weather we saw last night. Of course, we made the drive up here, had all of our technology set up, ready to go to bring you this game. We know the players made the drive up here as well. Everyone was ready to go, but of course, Mother Nature had other ideas. We were under a severe thunderstorm warning. Most counties in the surrounding area were for the majority of the evening last night, which prevented us from getting things underway. Initially, we were planning to kick things off at 8 or 8:30 last night, but with the incessant lightning that was present, they elected to just play it tonight instead, and I'm so glad they did, because tonight it is a blue sky, a breeze is blowing up here in the booth. The energy is good. Now, typically you would see a lot of Hickman County fans show up and show out on the road, but of course, with the change in schedule, typically you only game plan for just that one night a week on Friday night. This is very rare that we see this happen on a Saturday night. So it's not a surprise to see the diminished crowd a little bit, but we hope plenty of people will tune in here tonight to still support these Hickman County Bulldogs. And Fairview making their entrance right now. Hickman County in the white jerseys await on the far side. Fairview wearing the black and yellow, the colors so familiarized with this school. Of course, Hickman County wearing the all whites with the black lettering and the black helmets. Now, while we wait for official kickoff, I want to give you some standings from around the world of 2A Region 6 high school football. Of course, 5 teams in 2A Region 6. Number 1, sitting at the top right now, is East Robertson, who are sitting at an impressive 3-0. The last game they played was last night. They picked up a win over Joe Burns, 34-3. So they continue their undefeated season, although it is early in the year. Number 2, of course, is your Hickman County Bulldogs. They are sitting in at 1-1, as we've previously discussed. Number 3, the East Hickman Eagles are comrades, Cross County. Their last game that we can mark was against Fairview, or rather their last loss was against Fairview at the start of the season, where they fell 47-18, but in week 2 they were able to bounce back with a big win over Montgomery Central by a score of 18-12. Now, their game last night was supposed to be against McEwen, but of course weather had other ideas. They were unable to play, and the rescheduling of that game we do not yet know. We don't believe it's tonight, but if we hear updates we will let you know. And number 4 in the 2A Region 6 football standings is Houston County. Their last game, they took a tough loss, 42-6 against Waverly Central, who has been white hot this year, and they have certainly turned things around over there in Waverly. And 5th on the standings will be East Nashville Magnet, who on the website I saw they are sitting at 0-2, and their last game was scheduled against another 0-2 team, Hillsboro, but there was no score update. Some places I saw said the game was actually played and East Nashville was victorious, but I don't want to say anything for sure until I have a guaranteed answer. But those are a general overview of the standings in 2A Region 6 high school football, but a lot can change here tonight, especially with a Hickman County win, as a win would keep them firmly in second place behind East Robertson. But it won't be easy for the Bulldogs. So right now the captains for both teams taking the field. We see representing the Hickman County Bulldogs, as per usual, Andy Kraft, John Michael Lewis, Ruger Toddy, and Jaden Street for the Dogs. Of course, Andy Kraft, the junior quarterback who has been tasked with leading this Hickman County offense. And then standing across from the Bulldogs are the 4 captains for the Yellow Jackets. Of course, one of them is their quarterback, senior number 5, Jax McCoy. Now, McCoy has looked good this season, looking to keep the ball rolling for his team here tonight. Joining him, number 3, Caden Lee, another captain for Fairview, number 13, Justin Nozko, and number 22, Will Frank. So these 8 men currently standing at midfield during the coin toss. Of course, we expect them to be the 8 playmakers for both sides. Now, something that should be noted about this game, Hickman County, a 2A school, taking on a 3A school in Fairview. Of course, that means Fairview, the bigger school with more students, which means you have more to pull from. But Hickman County, one of the biggest rosters we've seen over the last few years, rivaling that of Fairview. Now, of course, Fairview will have plenty of depth. Hickman County also with more depth than they're used to having in years past. But it's all about the playmakers that we saw at midfield. Who will take over from the get-go and keep the ball rolling until the fourth quarter's end. Now, last week, Hickman County started off strong against Waverly, but did not conclude things on a positive note. They started off, the first quarter ended with Hickman County leading the Tigers 7-0, but it was all downhill from there for the Bulldogs. But when I talked to Coach Pat Smith a couple of weeks ago, he said one of his main missions this year in his first year as Bulldog head coach was to make sure these guys kept their heads held high, because the moment your head falls, it droops, not only are you showing a mental weakness to your opponent, but also you're not going to play well. You're playing scared, you're playing anxious, you're playing defeated, and Coach Smith knows that will not be a path to success for the Hickman County Bulldogs. And that's why we heard from students over this last week after that tough loss against Waverly that their heads are held high and they're bringing an air of confidence about them on the road here tonight against Fairview. So already, as we've mentioned, Hickman County is led by head coach Pat Smith. On the other side, Fairview is coached by Chris Hughes. Now, following the coin toss, we're about to be underway. Fairview will be kicking things away to the Hickman County Bulldogs to start things off. Kicking things off will be junior number 14, Tristan Rogers. And here we go after a long wait, a little over a week since the last time we covered Hickman County football. It's about that time. I know these two teams are ready just as much as I am to call this game. And on camera here tonight is my coworker, business connoisseur of WNKX and Access Tennessee, Jared Brown. And the kick is away, fielded by the Dogs. Past the 30, 35, it's Armstrong. Tripped up and taken down just beyond the 35. They'll mark him down at the 37, 38-yard line. So field position, of course, something that will certainly determine success in tonight's game. Armstrong so electric, so explosive for this Hickman County team. So Hickman County lining up in that formation that we're so accustomed to seeing, that wing T, both guys, yes. Placing their men out in motion. Kraft, snap. Rolls left, going to keep it himself. Tries to follow his blocks, bounces out. Has some room at the 40. Cuts back inside at the 45. And he's taken down just beyond the 45, down to the 48-yard line as they get closer to Yellow Jacket territory. We didn't see a whole lot of Andy Kraft last week, really on either side, whether it be throwing or rushing. We saw a lot of McCaleb last week. We did not see a lot of Taylor Hutchison, who we saw a lot of against Harpeth in week 1. But Kraft already getting things going with his legs. Of course, did not have a single pass last week. So one lone receiver far wide. It's Spiegelmeyer. Motion street, snap, fake. Oh, and Armstrong takes a tumble there, and Kraft has to keep it, tries to improvise, but he's taken down in the backfield for a loss. It'll set up now a 3rd and medium. They'll mark him down at the 42. And, of course, that's one of the dangers you run into with using a lot of motion. Armstrong there just got tripped up, and it disrupted the play. Sets up now a 3rd down and medium. Now the marker down there still reads 2nd down for the Bulldogs. So maybe it's not 3rd. So Kraft here. Hutchison goes out wide left, Spiegelmeyer wide right. Snap. Kraft on the direct keeper. And Fairview was ready for it, and they wrap him up. And Kraft was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So yes, that was just 2nd down. The officials signal 3rd down coming up. So I suppose there was a penalty.
3rd down, 15 Bulldogs.
So it will be 3rd down and 15 for Hickman County. Now, do they consider putting the ball in the air early in this game, trying to open up lanes in the running attack? You have to make defenses respect both aspects of your game. So Kraft in the gun now. Spiegelmeyer, the lone receiver, wide left, street in motion, left to right. Kraft wants to throw, pump fakes, pulls it down, keeps it. In the Fairview territory, down the sideline, into the 40, 35, taken down just shy of the 30 at the 32, and that is good enough for a Hickman County 1st down. But a flag is thrown on the field. So Kraft, a great patient run following his blocks. but waiting for the official call on this penalty. And it looks like it will be against the Bulldogs, as that will back them up. They'll mark them down at the 50. So there might have been a holding call there on the Kraft run. So they will replay third down, but this time only a 3rd down and 8 as opposed to a 3rd down and 15. So the big carry is negated, but Kraft already showing his lethality with his legs. But that rush there by Kraft was not a designed carry by any means. It certainly looked like he was looking to throw, but he was taking what the defense gave him, and that's the makings of a good quarterback. Kraft backs up now in the gun. Looks like it'll be the pistol. Street motion, snap, Kraft wants to throw, fires out wide, lofted, caught by Spiegelmeyer. Down the sideline, 25, and taken down at the 20 for a Hickman County first down.
Number 14, that's Aiden Spiegelmeyer. Tackle made by number 3, Aiden Lee.
So Hickman County already looking to air things out, making the Fairview secondary stay on their toes. And last week, I believe one of the problems was Waverly was able to predict the run. There were no play actions that opened up anything for the Bulldogs, and they were able to pile on those defensive stops, which led ultimately to the Bulldogs' defeat. But now, trying to change things up a little bit. Now, Bulldogs going fast. Motions their men out. Kraft under center. Snap. Gives. McCaleb plowing forward and taken down after a gain of 4. They'll mark him down at the 16. McCaleb, of course, not the fastest runner in the world, but he might be the strongest on that Bulldog sideline. He is a tough man to bring down strong. Once he gets momentum, he's the last guy you want to see coming at you if you're a defender. So a modest gain there on first down. The Bulldogs in the red zone. Kraft snaps, lost the snap, and has to fall on it back at the 20, so they'll lose 4 yards that McCaleb picked up. So it will be 3rd down and 10. And these are the little things Hickman County has to tighten up on if they want to find success in the future, not just in this ball game, but for the rest of the season. Last week, we know it was the little things that came back to haunt Hickman County, some silly penalties here and there, and 3 fumbles last week against Waverly. Of course, not a great start for Hickman County. Kraft now sends his men out, backs up into the gun. Motion, snap, and it's given straight to Kraft. He'll keep it, charging forward down to the 15, but another flag on the field. Will they let the boys play? That is the question, and it will be a hold against the Hickman County Bulldogs. That'll back him up. So instead of a 3rd down and 11, but the question is, will they accept it or decline it? So I don't think he got the yardage for a first down, so it would be 4th and short. But it looks like Coach Hughes and the Yellow Jackets will accept the penalty, back them up. So instead of 4th and 11, it will be, or instead of 3rd and 11, it will be 3rd and 21 for the Dogs. So Kraft, the primary ball carrier for the Dogs so far here tonight. Playing on this Fairview turf here this evening. Kraft backs up after motioning his men out. Armstrong to the right. So Spiegelmeyer, snap. Kraft rolls right, wants to throw, steps up, tries to evade pressure, and he is taken down and sacked by the Yellow Jackets back at the 31. So Kraft, after stepping up, might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage there at best. So now it's a 3rd and long. So what looked like a promising drive for the Bulldogs has been snuffed out by penalties. Penalties and, of course, muff snaps. Kraft on the field. And how about this, ladies and gentlemen? They're going to try a field goal with Parker Lambert. Of course, the former soccer star turned football player in his first season. Kraft the holder. Snap. Hold. The kick is up. And it falls short. No good. But I've heard a lot of good words about Parker Lambert, not only from fellow teammates, but the coaching staff. His performance in practices, I mean, he's almost an automatic point in the point after tries following a touchdown. So I don't hate the decision there, showing confidence in your young kicker, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I hope going forward we see more of Parker Lambert in these 4th down and long situations where going forward just wouldn't be the most wise decision. But here comes the Fairview offense, led by number 5, Jax McCoy, the senior. They'll start off 1st down and 10 near the 20. Snap, give up the middle. Hickman County fill in the gaps, and they'll take him down at the line of scrimmage. No gain for the Jackets.
Hand off to number 2, Bryson Harrison.
The give was to sophomore Bryson Harrison. Not a whole lot going. They may give him a half yard on the carry. So McCoy in the gun, Harrison to his left, 2 receivers wide left, 1 to the right. Snap, play action, quick throw out to the left, caught at the 20, trying to make Spiegelmeyer miss. And it's John Michael Lewis that runs him down and finally makes the tackle near the Bulldog sideline. And they'll mark him down around the 25. So it will be a 3rd and 5, Hickman County. If their defense can force a quick 3 and out for Fairview, some big momentum for the Dogs. Snap, quick toss out to the right, in pursuit of the Dogs. John Michael Lewis there greets him, but now it's a pack of dogs to finish the job.
Pitch to number 2, that's Bryson Harrison. Tackle was led by number 51, Jackson Mayberry.
Number 51, Jackson Mayberry, there on the tackle, assisted by number 52, Chase Sims. Of course, Jackson Mayberry, the freshman who was so highly touted by Coach Pat Smith. And that will force Fairview into an early punting situation. There are no Bulldogs back deep to return, and the Bulldogs got to handle the punt. It's blocked. And it will roll, and you can hear the coaches yelling, get away from it, and they'll let it roll, and it will die at the 44. So some phenomenal field position for the Dogs after the special teams unit does their job to get a hand on the punt. So Hickman County defense and special teams trying to light a spark under the offense.
1st down Bulldogs for the 44-yard line.
But really the last drive that we saw by Hickman and County, it saw promise. There were some good plays being put together. Andy Kraft showing how much of a playmaker he can be. Just tighten up the screws a little bit, and Hickman County might be in business. So Spiegelmeyer wide left, only receiver. Snap, give up the middle. It's McCaleb. He lost the ball. And it's picked up by Fairview. So after it looked like Hickman County had something going, fumbles continue to plague this Bulldog team. The fumble was recovered by number 22, Will Frank, the senior of Fairview. So now Fairview hoping that will light a spark under their offense after a quick 3 and out on their first series. McCoy in the gun. Snap, play action, pump fakes, spins out, Bulldog pressure coming. McCoy still looking, pump fakes, now tucks it and scampers out of bounds near the Bulldog sideline. Not much there on the carry, might have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a 2nd down and 10. So the Bulldog pass rush paying dividends, keeping McCoy uncomfortable, making him roll out of the pocket. Now McCoy, a very athletic quarterback. I suppose in this day and age of modern day football, we're used to seeing athletic quarterbacks who can beat you with their arm and legs. McCoy no different. Snap, jet sweep, trying to get around the edge. Hickman County in pursuit, and it's John Michael Lewis. No, that was Jaden Street there, I believe, on the tackle. That was Street on the tackle. So explosive, so fast, hawking down the ball carrier. And that jet sweep was given to number 11, the junior John Barrick. I remember calling that young man's name during basketball season last year, when Hickman County played the Yellow Jackets. So another 3rd down and long coming up for Fairview. Snap, McCoy looks to throw, drops back, lets it fly, wide open, he's caught. The pass was complete to number 3, Caden Lee, a senior. Takes it down into Bulldog territory, and that will move the chains for the Yellow Jackets. Armstrong was there on the tackle. So the first down of the night for Fairview. McCoy by himself. Rolls left quickly, boots it out. Looks to throw, fires, caught. And a big hit there by Spiegelmeyer.
McCoy's pass complete to number 13, Justin Nosco.
So Nosco with the reception, not much after that, but still a decent gain from Fairview. It'll get him about 8 yards. Second down and 2 for the Jackets at the 31-yard line of Hickman County. McCoy yet again in the gun by himself. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap. McCoy wants to throw. Pressure coming. Fires right. Caught by Lee. Makes a move inside. Still on his feet. 20, 15, 10. Makes another move. And Armstrong finally wrangles him down. And the ball was loose. Picked up by Fairview. And if the fumble stands, it will be a touchdown, Yellow Jackets, but they will say Lee was down inside the 5. So it will be a first and goal for Fairview.
Which brings up Erica Kelly.
So Lee showing his athleticism and elusivity.
For the Yellow Jackets.
But now Fairview knocking on the door after what looked like another 3 and out for Hickman County. That 3rd and long conversion paying dividends. McCoy under center. Puts a man in motion, snaps. Jet sweep around the edge, and he will coast on in for a Fairview touchdown. Number 23, Kentrell Harrison.
Kentrell Harrison. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
So Fairview will strike first on their home turf. The PAT on the way. 1 minute and 42 seconds left to play in this first quarter of action. Snap, little high, but corralled by the holder, and the kick misses wide right, no good. So it will stay 6-0 Fairview. The Bulldogs looking to answer back on this next offensive series.
That's an Erica Kelly Flat Branch Home Loan sponsor. T-shirts are coming for that touchdown, folks.
Once again, we thank you for joining us here on WNKX Live on YouTube and Facebook. We also appreciate you tuning in if you're listening on the radio 96.7.
Hey, but we don't want to see it on the internet. Don't take it away from a kid.
It is a cool night tonight. It finally feels like fall, which means football weather. And there's no better place to be, whether it's on a Friday or a Saturday. And it's been a busy day today, of course, with college football back in full swing. It's been a full day of football. And no better way to cap it off than with some Bulldog football under the lights on the road here in Williamson County. So set to kick things away, number 14, Tristan Rogers, after the missed PAT.
Back deep to the Bulldogs, number 36, Hayden Kennedy, and number 21, Braden Armstrong.
Hayden Kennedy and Braden Armstrong back deep to return for the Dogs.
Tristan Rogers, number 14.
Kennedy, also a freshman. And the kick is away. It's a low line drive. Picked up off the ground by McCaleb. And he surges down past the 30.
Rogers' kick was fielded by number 12. That's Braden McCaleb.
So Braden McCaleb gets it down to the 32-yard line. That is where Andy Kraft and company will set up shop.
First down, Bulldogs from the 32.
I'm sure on the sideline, Coach Smith cannot emphasize enough how important it is to keep both hands on the ball, keeping it secure. Kraft under center. Snap. He's going to give it, and Fairview was ready for it, and Hickman County is going backwards. So that'll be a significant loss of about 4 yards on the carry. To be a second down and 14 for Hickman County with just over 60 seconds to play in this first quarter. So Spiegelmeyer, not even in the huddle, just immediately goes out wide right.
Between quarters, you're going to see the Fairview High School Yellow Jacket cheerleaders in routine.
Snap, Kraft keeps it, play action, and fires out wide. Quick to Spiegelmeyer, caught, Nice move inside, still on his feet. Spiegelmeyer down the sideline near the sticks, and he's out of bounds. And where will they mark him? And he's close. And the officials will say move the chains. First down, Hickman County, down to their own 42-yard line with 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. So it seems like the passing game working so far for the Bulldogs. They've been relying on Spiegelmeyer. The junior wide receiver. Snap, Kraft, gives on the sweep. That's Hutchison. Keeps trying to find the edge, and he's wrapped up and taken down. Maybe a yard on the play, if that.
Number 6 on the carry for the Bulldogs, 13. Justin Nosco makes the tackle.
Nosco, they're on the tackle for Fairview, and they'll say Hutchison got back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter here on WNKX. Your score, Fairview 6, your Hickman County Bulldogs nothing. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And both teams now taking the field. After that quarter break, 12 minutes to go till halftime. The Bulldogs on the offensive, second down and 10 after the first down run by Hutchison went for no gain. Kraft snaps, rolls right, design keeper, tries to follow his blocks, but he's wrapped up from behind and taken down, and he'll lose a yard. So a third down and 11 upcoming for the Dogs.
Number 9 on the keeper, Andy Kraft.
And it looks like a Bulldog is shaken up on the play. And that's Kraft, who was down on a knee, but back to his feet now, walking under his own power, but will probably be examined all the same. And I feel like this is one of the few times since we started this last year that I've had to do a broadcast by myself, so I appreciate you all for bearing with me here. I got to learn the ropes yet again. I've had to call a game solo, but it's always a good time, and
Well, folks, raise your hand.
I appreciate you guys being with us here tonight. Of course, our student crew that's usually accompanying us here tonight was unable to make it here on this Saturday game. They had to be rescheduled due to weather, of course, originally planned for last night.
You guys got to get loud. People get in the end zone. They'll be throwing shirts all night.
I do want to give a special thank you to Aiden Weber for all the help he has given me this year on color commentary. He had big shoes to fill with Cameron Peters stepping away from us. Such a memorable presence was Cam, of course, was recently married a few weeks ago. So congratulations, Cam. We love you. We thank you for your contributions to WNKX. So third down and long, snap. John Michael Lewis was in at quarterback after Kraft had to come off the field, and they'll give it to Street for a loss, and that will bring up a fourth down punting situation for the Bulldogs. And tonight, our man on the camera is Access Tennessee businessman Jared Brown. It's his first time doing the camera tonight. He's been doing such a wonderful job. So here comes the punt. John Michael Lewis set to kick things away. Snap is low, fielded on a bounce, and gets the kick away. That was a bullet off the foot of Lewis, fielded by Lee at the 30, 35, 40. Tries to make a move, still on his feet and wrapped up and taken down just beyond the 45, and a flag comes flying out after a big shot there, a blindside hit. From our view up here in the booth, we saw number 2, Devin Tucker, the senior, take a fall. And that penalty probably going to be against the Yellow Jackets. So a decent return there by Lee. Decent field position for Fairview, but the penalty will back them up. So instead of being beyond the 40, they will start off at the 31-yard line.
Yellow Jackets from the 31.
McCoy in the gun. Bryson Harrison flanking him to his right. 2 receivers left, 1 far right. Motions his man. Snap. McCoy wants to throw. Spins out. Back foot lets it fly to the sideline. Incomplete. Looking for number 7, Lincoln Kelly, the junior receiver, but it sails overhead, but a flag is thrown on the field. And we have seen an abundance of penalties thus far here tonight. And usually whenever you see a quarterback escape the pocket like McCoy did right there, and a flag comes flying shortly after, it usually means a holding call because the offensive line having to compensate for the quarterback not being in the pocket. Comes back to bite him there for a loss of 10. 1st and 20 at the 21. Fairview, snap. McCoy wants to throw again. Drops, dunks it off to the right. On a screen. Follows his blocks, has a lot of room. Cuts up the middle and takes a big hit from behind. Down close to the 40. That was number 2, Bryson Harrison, on the halfback screen.
Number 14, Aiden Spiegelmeyer.
And McCoy, a very wise move there. His drop, he faded a little bit to the left to pull the defensive pass rush with him. Of course, no one there on the far side to stop Harrison. It's McCoy in the gun on 2nd and short. Direct snap to the running back, up the middle, and Hickman County, a stone wall is there. He's close to the marker. The officials haven't signaled a first down yet. And now they do. It will move the chains. Keithley there on the tackle.
That's another Erica Kelly group flat break. Home run. Yellow Jacket first down.
I believe that was Langford there on the carry. McCoy. Play action on the jet sweep. Pressure coming. McCoy on his feet. Dunks it. Almost intercepted. John Michael Lewis there on the coverage. McCoy was looking for Nazco, well covered, blanketed by Lewis, and McCoy was just looking to get the ball out of his hand before he took the sack. The Bulldog pass rush was heavy. Leading the charge, number 26, A.J. Reich. Snap, give, up the middle. Has some room, cuts back inside. Harrison still on his feet and has a first down. Down into Bulldog territory. They'll spot him down near the 45 of Hickman County. Looked like there wasn't a whole lot of room for Bryson Harrison, but he made some magic happen to move the chains for Fairview. So quickly to the line, they're going to give it again. And again, a big hole opens up, and Bryson Harrison again shredding the Bulldog defense, and number 14, Spiegelmeyer, is down for Hickman County. The trainer is out there to evaluate Aiden, and hopefully it's nothing serious. And Aiden Spiegelmeyer, a junior spark plug for this Hickman County team. Now, in the first couple of weeks, we saw a lot of cramps from Hickman County, as well as the opponents that they would play because of the hot weather. And as the weather starts to cool down, we may not see that as much, which makes you really question what Spiegelmeyer's injury here is. So he's being attended to right now. So folks, in the meantime, while Spiegelmeier is being attended to, want to remind you about an upcoming event that's coming your way in Hickman County. September 20th will be the annual Relay for Life event. And WNKX will be representative there at that event. I myself will be present at the Relay for Life. So if you can come out and support the event, that would be greatly appreciated. Once again, that is September 20th, just a couple of weeks away. And the Relay for Life will be hosted at Buford McCord Park. The event is expected to last from 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That is p.m., not a.m., for all of you early birds out there that got excited. No, it will be 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, September 20th. Spiegelmeier still being attended to, so all we can do is hope and pray for the best. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this on YouTube, and if you haven't already, we encourage you to subscribe and like this live stream so that we may grow our channel to reach more people in the community so that we can help better the production, the stream, all for the sake of those young men and coaches on that far side of Hickman County. It is our mission not to replace the in-person viewing experience, but to make Hickman County sports a little bit more accessible for those that are unable to get out to attend home games or away games. It has been a thrilling season thus far, of course, Hickman County, with a big win in week 1, got things off hot. We expect more W's like that this season. And we want you to be there along with us every step of the way. So we saw Hickman County coaches there that were attending the Spiegelmeier point over to the huddle, instructing them to get down on a knee. So we know that is not a good sign. I don't believe we've had an injury break last this long this year. Oh no, and now they're bringing out a cart, it appears, for Spiegelmeier, and it looks like Hickman County Sheriff Jason Kraft now on the field. We hope there's not a need for any medical responders, but you never know. Of course, this is the unfortunate risk these young men take when they step onto the gridiron Football is such a physical game. Now with the rules, these officials do their very best to keep these players safe. That is the #1 priority every single time there's a game hosted, no matter where you are, no matter what level of football you're playing at. But sometimes these things happen, as is the nature of the game. And with 9 minutes and 5 seconds left to play in this second quarter, Fairview leading Hickman County 6-0. Looks like Spiegelmeyer being loaded onto the cart right now. And our heart goes out to that young man. Of course, we all love Spigs. I know as humans, it's hard not to assume the worst. But we know Aiden Spiegelmeyer is a tough young man, and it will take a lot to keep him off this field for long. So whatever it is that needs to be attended to, we hope it gets done to the fullest extent, and he has a quick and speedy recovery. And I'm sure there will be updates provided on his health in the future. And we will gladly share anything that we hear regarding the health of Aiden Spiegelmeyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, give that young man a big round of applause.
And a very, very classy move by Fairview. Of course, the entire fan base stood and gave a round of applause to Spiegelmeyer. The Fairview PA announcer, of course, encouraged the round of applause. So a big shout out to Fairview for that nod there to Aiden Spiegelmeyer. And he's being carted off the field right now. It appears a boot has been placed on his right leg. So I would not dare assume the injury that just took place. But as I said, we will provide more information when it is readily available. But after that lengthy timeout, both teams now coming back onto the field. Fairview's offense is driving. It'll be 1st and 10, Fairview at the 27-yard line. Snap, play action. McCoy throws left at the 25, down inside the 25. Taken down at the 24. So the pass from McCoy was complete to Barrick. 2nd down and 7 for the Yellow Jackets. McCoy in the gun. Harrison flanking him. Snap. Play action. Fires to the end zone. Has a man open. Incomplete. Through the hands of number 7, Lincoln Kelly. Had him there. The pass was a little too tall. Kelly did have his hands on it, but that's a tough play to make as you're nearing that sideline near the pylon. 3rd down and 7 for Fairview. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Snap. Give. Harrison up the middle. Tries to bounce it out left and does. Follows some blockers, and he is wrapped up by a couple of dogs shy of the 20-yard line. Mark him down at the 21-yard line. He'll get a few on the carry. 4th down and 4 now for Fairview. And they'll keep the offense on the field. 2 receivers left, 1 right, whistles blowing. And they wanted to correct the spot, I believe. They'll move it up to the 21 from the 22-yard line. So here we go, same formation for Fairview. McCoy tried to get him to bite, and they did. So McCoy's hard count draws Hickman County off sides, and that will move the chains. So a freebie there for Fairview on 4th down. So 1st and 10 now from inside the 20 at the 16. The Jackets in the red zone looking to go up 2 scores. Snap, Pitch out to the left to Harrison. Has some blocks.
Pitch to number 2.
And he's taken down at around the 11-yard line.
Tackle led by number 78.
So he'll get about 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 5 for Fairview. With 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter, Fairview up 6-0, looking to make it 12-zip here in this first half of play. McCoy in the gun, flanked by Harrison to his right. Snap. Give up the middle. Harrison darts through a hole, has a first down. Inside the 10 will set up a 1st and goal. No, he is just shy. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Yellow Jackets, still inside the 10. So Fairview thus far has been getting it done on the ground and through the air. Snap. Give up the middle. Darts forward. Plenty for a 1st down. And the ball's loose. Hickman County thinks they have it. Waiting for the official decision. But it is recovered by Fairview. In those situations, it seems like both teams always believe they're the ones that have it, but no one truly knows till the pile is dispersed. And that fumble recovery will be enough for a Yellow Jacket 1st down, 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Snap. Give up the middle, wide open. He will coast in, virtually untouched. Kentrell Harrison, number 23 for a Yellow Jacket touchdown. But there is a flag thrown, perhaps holding. And it will be holding against Fairview, so negate the touchdown.
Flag on the play.
So that 10-yard penalty will back him up to the 16-yard line for a long 1st and goal. And plays like that can really take the wind out of your sails if you're an offense. 1 minute you have 6, the next minute you have nothing.
From the 16-yard line.
But still, grounds for concern if you're Hickman County, because Kentrell Harrison essentially walked into the end zone without a scratch on him. So Hickman County really needing to plug the gaps here while also respecting the passing game from McCoy. Snap. Rolls left. Wants to throw. Pressure coming. Lets it fly to the end zone. Incomplete. Was looking for number 11, John Barrick. Well covered there by Hickman County. That ball was sailing more towards the sideline, so not really sure if Barrick had a play on that ball. But I think that is due to Hickman County's coverage. McCoy there not pressing the envelope, making a throw where either his guy gets it or no one gets it. So 2nd down and long. Snap. Little touch pass to Harrison. Some trickery. Still on his feet. Finally wrapped up by a group of Bulldogs. But he gets down to the 8-yard line for a 3rd down and goal. Much more manageable now for Fairview.
Tackle led by number 65 for the Bulldogs, Jackson Warren.
Jackson Warren there led the pack of Bulldogs on the tackle. So 3rd down. 2 receivers spread wide left, 1 right. Snap. McCoy fires over the middle. Caught. End zone. Touchdown. Yellow Jackets. He found number 11, John Barrick, but yet another flag on the field. So it will be a touchdown after the play, and it will be a personal foul against Fairview. So the touchdown will stand, making a 12-0 ball game. That penalty will be enforced later. Two-point conversion try for the Yellow Jackets. Snap, jet sweep, but he's met quickly by the Dogs, and he's not gonna get there. That 2-point conversion is no good. So the score will stay Fairview 12, Hickman nothing. And that unsportsmanlike penalty, that personal foul, will be enforced on the kickoff, I would imagine. There's 5:45 to play in the first half. And during the halftime break, we will bring in Jared Brown, our cameraman, for our halftime show to get his thoughts on the first half of this Hickman County Fairview football game. So after that very long touchdown drive,
Back deep for the Bulldogs, number 36.
Fairview set to kick things away, but they'll be backed up kicking from their own 25. So Hickman County should be guaranteed some good field position. Armstrong and Kennedy back deep for the Dogs.
Teeing up for the Yellow Jackets.
Rogers
13, Tristan Rogers.
set to kick things away for the Jackets. And it's away, a low line drive that hits off the Bulldogs and fielded. That was a fantastic job there on the recovery. That ball was booted off the leg of a Bulldog special teams player. Couldn't see whose number that was, but it was ultimately recovered by Keithley. Those are some great hands there to secure the Bulldogs' possession in Yellow Jacket territory at the 46. Of course, Hickman now without Spiegelmeyer out wide, who had a few receptions in this first half. And Lewis is the one taking snaps now at quarterback. So not only does Hickman not have Kraft at QB, they're also without Spiegelmeyer out wide. So injuries plaguing this Bulldog team thus far. So while Lewis not as mobile as Kraft, he has a cannon. He can throw it a long way, and I'm wondering if Coach Smith wants to take advantage of that. Maybe change up the play calling a little bit to catch this Fairview defense off guard. So Lewis under center. Snap. Give to Armstrong. The ball's loose. And it's picked up by Fairview. And the fumbles continue to kill Hickman County. And I think it was to be expected that all of this motion that Hickman County does pre-snap would come with some growing pains. There would be a learning curve to it, but there have been some costly growing pains for these Bulldogs these last couple of weeks. You could argue Hickman County would have been in the game last week against Waverly were it not for those 3 fumbles. Same could be said for tonight. Hickman County's defense has played pretty well against Fairview's offense. But the offense of the Bulldogs just cannot string together some big chunk plays in a row. So there was a marker thrown, so Fairview will start 1st and 10 at their own 45, 1st down and 15, with just under 5 minutes to play in the first half. So 3 wide to the left, 1 to the right for Fairview. McCoy by himself in the gun. Snap, wants to throw. Receiver screen out to Lee. Lee met quickly, wrapped up and taken down.
Number 3, Caden Lee.
That was number 17, Rain Ola. They're on the tackle, the junior. So a nice open field tackle on Caden Lee, who has proven to be a tough man to bring down, so light on his feet. And Fairview thus far has really been implementing these screen plays, not just to their running backs, but to their receivers as well. Letting McCoy settle in with these short, easy throws might open them up for some deep tries later. McCoy, no, it's a direct snap. And that play is snuffed out quickly by the Dogs, taken down at the 45. Number 65, Jackson Warren, one of the culprits there on the tackle. Austin Blystad there as well.
Third down 15.
So a third down and 15. So following the turnover, the Bulldog defense with a chance to get off the field quickly. McCoy in the gun. Another hard count. This time does not get Hickman County to jump. Now looks over to the sideline. Snap. McCoy wants to throw. Pressure coming. Airs it to the sideline. And it's caught, but it looked like a foot might have been on the white line. But they'll say he was in bounds.
Pass complete to number 7. That's completely close.
So a completion there goes for about 12 yards to set up a fourth down and manageable
Fourth down.
on the plus side of the field at the 44-yard line. Fourth down and 4. Pass was for 11 yards. And McCoy and the offense will stay on the field. Hickman County, you have to think, needs this stop. And a whistle blows. And a timeout is called on the field by the Yellow Jackets, looking to talk things over for this fourth down and 4 play. With 3 minutes and 1 second to play in the first half, Fairview leads Hickman 12-0.
Caden Lee now wears number 18.
So it was just announced. Caden Lee will be wearing jersey number 18, I suppose, in that tackle. His jersey was pulled out, maybe stretched out there. So here we go, 4th and 4. McCoy under center, motions Harrison. It's a jet sweep. Has a hole, and that's an easy first down and more. Still on his feet, down inside the 20. So Kentrell Harrison on the jet sweep coasts his way down inside the red zone, down to the 17 for a Yellow Jacket first down as they convert the 4th down. McCoy snap. Again, jet sweep to Harrison. If it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess, and he'll take it for a modest gain.
Tackle led by number 52.
Number 52, Chase Sims there, the leading dog on the tackle. And Harrison gets about 4 yards on the carry, 2nd down and 6 for Fairview.
At halftime, get y'all something to eat. Hot dogs, hamburgers, nachos, your favorite drinks, and your favorite candy.
McCoy under center, snap. To give up the middle. And he's going to coast on into the end zone for a Yellow Jacket touchdown.
0, touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
And that was number 0, the freshman, Julius Carter, with impressive acceleration to blow by the Dogs. And Fairview tacks on to their lead. The 2-point try. McCoy rolls, fires, caught. And the 2-point conversion is good.
Number 13, Justin Nosko for the 2-point conversion. Folks, get ready.
So McCoy's 2-point conversion pass is complete to make your score Fairview 20, Hickman County nothing, with 1 minute and 55 seconds left to play in the first half.
All right, you guys got to come on down to the far end and throw some shirts up. Come on down to your right, ladies. Give these folks a chance to catch one.
And Fairview will get the ball back to start the second half, so Hickman County still has plenty of time to put some points on the board before the halftime break. And it almost feels like it's do or die. You never want to say that in the first half of a football game, but with the injuries Hickman County has faced and the momentum that Fairview's been able to string together on their home turf, it almost feels impossible not to feel that way. So Rogers set to kick things away. Kennedy and Armstrong yet again back deep to return. And it's away. A deep kick will be fielded by Armstrong inside the Bulldog 5. Tries to get on the edge. Fairview in hot pursuit. And Armstrong gets to about the 14-yard line.
On the kick return, that's Brandon Armstrong.
So that was really just a perfectly placed kick there by Tristan Rogers. It rolls right inside the 5. Armstrong looked to be certain that it was going to roll into the end zone for a touchback, but the ball seemed to die on the turf. So Hickman County backed up at their own 15. Lewis snap, give up the middle. That's a 5-yard carry for Braden McCaleb.
Number 12, Braden McCaleb on carry. Led by number 22, Will
So Hickman County still choosing
second down 4.
to take a methodical approach to offense here on this drive. Under 90 seconds now to play in the first half. Lewis under center. Snap. They're going to keep it on the ground. That's McCaleb again. Gets around the edge and has enough for a Bulldog first down just beyond the 25. So even though McCaleb had the fumble earlier in the game, Hickman County still trusting in their big man. A timeout is called by Hickman County to stop the clock at 1 minute and 3 seconds. So they have about 74 yards to go to find pay dirt. So perhaps with these few carries over here to McCaleb, they're making Fairview respect the run even late in a half. So maybe Coach Smith now believes it's time to let John Michael Lewis show off that big arm. But now there's no set in stone a wide receiver 1 right now with Spiegelmeyer out. He was almost the guaranteed man out wide, although we have seen Jaden Street with a couple of big receptions on the year thus far. He was the one who caught the Bulldogs' first touchdown of the season against Harpeth on the road week 1. And Street is on the field. But it looks like Hutchison is the one out wide. Snap. Lewis gives on the ground. And that was Armstrong on the carry. We'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. 45 seconds to play. Ball spotted at the 27. So they're going to keep it on the ground to Jaden Street, and he'll get about 3 on the carry. Taking it near the 30-yard line. Whistle blows, timeout. Timeout is called by Hickman County. That will be their second timeout of the half. So they still have one in their back pocket, so it seems like Hickman County is still trying to keep things on the ground, hoping something breaks big, but with time becoming a factor with under 30 seconds to play, I mean, banking on a 70-yard run to the house just seems a little risky. Mathematically, the odds not on the side of Hickman County keeping it on the ground, but you never know. We know Hickman County has a lot of explosive playmakers, so perhaps I will be one to eat my words. And I just received word from Hickman County Sheriff Jason Kraft. He said EMS is still checking out Aiden Spiegelmeyer. There is potential for a broken arm, and that is the last that Sheriff Kraft had heard, and we will try to give you more updates as they are made readily available. but we did see it looked like a boot on his leg, but maybe it wasn't. It is hard to see from up here in the press box, but that is all we know for now. Some of you relatives or friends listening in right now may know more than us. So Lewis under center, snap, whistle blows, flag on the field. Looks like a false start. And that'll back up the Bulldogs 5 yards. So it'll move them back to the original line of scrimmage, just beyond the 25. Snap. Lewis wants to throw, pressure coming, still on his feet. Lewis, and he's taken down. Looked like he was trying to escape pressure, was keeping his eyes upfield, and he was hit from underneath, out of bounds. That will bring up a 4th down. That will stop the clock. So on 4th down, you find yourself backed into a corner. Almost certainly a punting situation, because if you turn it over on downs here, that would give Fairview some phenomenal field position. How they've been moving the ball thus far, even 20 seconds might be too much time for this Yellow Jacket offense to find the end zone. So a timeout on the field as these two teams will talk things over. And though you cannot see it on the camera, Fairview has packed the house on this Saturday evening. And Hickman County's section has started to fill up since the start of this broadcast. As a reminder, during the halftime break, we will stay with you here on the air. We will bring in Jared Brown. Me and him will talk about the first half of this football game, as well as football around the country. Of course, it's been a big day for football, especially for the state of Tennessee. Snap, and they're going to punt it away. Pressure coming, Fairview unable to get a hand on it. The punt is fielded in plus territory. That's Lee, gets around the edge. The Bulldogs in hot pursuit down the sideline is Lee. Flag flies in the backfield. Lee still on his feet and is hit hard.
We got flags everywhere, folks.
He was hit by Austin Blystad on the return. A touchdown saving tackle, perhaps, but with those flags thrown on the field, it looked like it would have been coming back anyway. Personal foul will be called against the Yellow Jackets. And with 6 seconds to play in this first half, we might see McCoy rear back and see how far he can throw. And after the return by Lee, all for naught as the ball will be spotted at midfield. So McCoy wants to air it out. Drops back, has time, fires a bullet over the middle, incomplete. With 1 tick left on the clock.
Pass intended for number 7.
Was looking for number 7, Lincoln Kelly. So the Yellow Jackets will have time for one more play, and I do think we should give a lot of credit and a thank you to the medical staff that's been checking on Spiegelmeyer. We know they are doing their best to attend to that young man. His presence will certainly be missed. McCoy wants to throw, has time. Now pressure coming. Steps back and just lets it fly over the middle of the field. Intercepted! Taken away by the Dogs. And we're hoping to maybe try to take it back to the house for 6. But all for naught as he'll be taken down
Pass skipped and intercepted.
And that will bring us to the end of the first half. There was a penalty on the field.
Get to make your way down. I hear y'all stomach growling.
And it will be a holding against Fairview, so the flag will be a moot point. But the interception will still count for Hickman County stats. So, folks, we're going to take a commercial break here, and we will be back with you for the halftime show. Don't go anywhere. Your score, Fairview 20, Hickman County 0.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust, and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to WNKX, your home for Hickman County sports. Tonight we have been on the road to Williamson County as the Fairview Yellow Jackets have been playing host to your Hickman County Bulldogs, and tonight it has unfortunately been all Fairview. Your score, Fairview 20, Hickman County nothing. And once again, turnovers and penalties have plagued the Bulldogs. Just an overall lack of discipline that we didn't see in week one. Against Harpeth, Hickman County was a very disciplined team, not a lot of turnovers, and really no penalties either. So Hickman County definitely has some work to do during this halftime break, and it's been a chilly evening, but this weather has been welcome, to say the least, after the hot spells we've had the last few weeks these Bulldogs have played, especially considering the storms last night. You could not ask for a better evening for football, and right now, during this halftime break, since we are on the radio, we will be filling this airtime with a halftime show. Welcome to Jared Brown, of course, an Access Tennessee employee who handles our business affairs, but he's also a football fan himself, so we're glad to have him here. Jared, welcome.
Thank you, Josh. I'm grateful to be here. I thank you for the opportunity. Thank WNKX, and also I'd like to thank all of our viewers who are viewing from home. Thank you for tuning in to WNKX, and great night for football so far.
Yeah, Jared, absolutely. And, you were working the camera here tonight, so you were, locked in on the action that was going down. And, we saw Hickman County tonight. We knew Fairview was going to be a tough task because, 3A school, a lot of depth, a lot of talent, good coaching. But Hickman County came out, looked fairly strong at the beginning, was marching down, and, turnovers and penalties plagued their opening drive, and it forced them to give it back to Fairview, and Fairview made them pay for it, now leading by 3 scores. So, Jared, what do you think Coach Smith is telling his guys during this halftime break?
Certainly, Josh. Those are some great observations from up here, bird's eye view in the press box. I think that Coach Smith is maybe talking to his guys to become more disciplined on both sides of the ball. Something I've observed up here is the amount of penalties, the amount of flags thrown by the officials tonight. And certainly I think that both sides, or both teams, have been affected by those penalties, and Coach Smith is probably definitely on his guys to become more disciplined tonight.
Jared, you made a really good point, because these officials, they haven't been one-sided by any means. They have been throwing a lot of penalties for both teams, and there's a lot of reasons for why that could be, why these penalties are occurring. Maybe it is lack of discipline. Maybe it is the wonky schedule that has them out of sorts a little bit, so they're not playing to their fullest potential here. But whatever the case, those flags have been flying. And really in all sports, Jared, we've been seeing penalties increase. I think a lot of times for the safety of the players as well, they want to keep the game under control, because if you let things spiral out of hand, you can have an increase in unsportsmanlike conduct penalties if you don't cut those off, nip them in the bud, if you will. And we've seen already some words being exchanged on the field by both of these teams. So I think the officials are trying to keep them under control.
Certainly, the officials are doing a great job down there, keeping control on the game, uh, trying to limit the amount of unsportsmanlike or undisciplined penalties committed by both sides. Definitely great job by the officiating crew.
And as we look back to the first half, the Bulldogs were rather certainly more willing to throw the ball this week, more so than they were last week against a very tout Waverly team. Waverly, it seemed that they had done a complete 180 from last year. They look scary this year. A lot of talent, great coaching on the sideline. So maybe the unpredictability of Waverly, maybe them not knowing what to expect from the Tigers last week affected the play calling, because Hickman County tonight, at least what we saw when Andy Kraft was still on the field, we saw a team that was unafraid to pass, and the pass was working. We look back to Harpeth. They only threw the ball, 2 or 3 times, but when they did, they were caught for big gains or touchdowns. And whenever you have a good passing game, you force them to respect that, so that way you have more holes open up for your running game and vice versa. But last week we didn't see that against Waverly, and tonight I thought we were going to see that, but then Jared, unfortunately, disaster struck, injuries plaguing the Bulldogs in 2 very important skill positions, receiver Aiden Spiegelmeyer and quarterback Andy Kraft, both having to come off the field. And of course, we know Spiegelmeyer is being attended to by the medical staff. He's believed to have a broken arm, although we don't know for certain, so our thoughts are with these 2 men who have gone down tonight. But Jared, that is the nature of football. I know you and I have both watched football. We've been fans ourselves for a long time, and that's just part of it.
Yes, sir, Josh. It's just an unfortunate part of the game, and injuries have plagued this Hickman County offense, and our thoughts and prayers go out to both Aiden Spiegelmeyer and Andy Kraft at this time. And as you were saying, I believe an observation I've noticed up here in the press box is at first, Hickman County, their offense, you could definitely see the dual threat nature, both the run and the pass. And you can definitely see that from the Fairview side as well. And, as Fairview has progressed down the field, their run game has came alive here in the second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, when I watch Fairview run the ball, you see a lot of dynamics that are similar to Hickman County. Now, when Hickman County runs the ball, they have a lot of guys that are quick on their feet, that are fast, that are explosive, guys like Jaden Street, guys like Taylor Hutchison, guys like Braden Armstrong. Even when Andy Kraft was out there, Andy, very tough man to bring down. But Hickman County also has guys like Braden McCaleb, big bodies that are hard to bring down, maybe not as fast or as light on their feet as guys like Street or Hutchison, but he can plow through you. And he's a hard guy to tackle, so Hickman County brings a few different looks in the run game, but also when you look at Fairview, they also do something similar. They have the Harrisons, who have been doing exactly that. Kentrell Harrison, number 23, has been a big body for Fairview, who almost fills that Braden McCaleb role, the big guy who won't make as many fancy moves on his feet, whether it be spin moves, jukes. He won't do anything like that. He'll just lower his shoulder and dare you to bring him down. But we also see a dynamic with guys like freshman Julius Carter, who had a big run earlier in the first half, who, not a huge guy by any means, but he was so fast, he darted through the hole like nobody's business. And then we see the other Harrison as well, also making some big-time plays for this offense. So when I look at these comparisons between Hickman County and Fairview, they seem like a team that would be pretty evenly matched, I think, but unfortunately it has been all Fairview thus far. But, Jared, maybe we have some Fairview listeners tuning in. Maybe for them, fortunately, it's been all Fairview, but I know we are listened to predominantly by Bulldog fans, so I'll be speaking as one of them here tonight. But what I want to talk about as well, Jared, on the Fairview side, and we talk about how dynamic they've been running the ball, but you mentioned their passing game as well. Now, as far as airing the ball out, beyond 10 yards, they haven't been as successful. We saw an incompletion in the end zone. We saw towards the end of the first half an incompletion to an open receiver over the middle of the field. Throw was a bit behind him. But where Fairview has been finding their success has been in the screen plays. Maybe some quick receiver screens to Caden Lee. We see some running back screens to Bryson Henderson. So really, I mean, they're hitting you from all different sides here, and they're not trying to just take the top off of it. They're trying to nickel and dime their way down the field, and it's similar to Hickman County as well.
Certainly, Josh. You can definitely see a lot of screen passes coming out from Fairview's offense, and it's certainly worked for them so far. A lot of jet touch passes to their running back, and it's worked. It's worked to spread out the field. It's worked to go right down the middle. A lot of smash mouth-esque football being played right now by Fairview, and certainly Hickman County needs to come together to possibly contain that running back in the second half.
Yeah, Jared, and I think, we talked about how the injuries have affected the offense with a quarterback and a receiver going down, but I think what we failed to mention is that also takes a big chunk out of the defense as well. Spiegelmeyer and Kraft, two guys in the secondary that are all over the field. I mean, they are leaders on that Hickman County defense just as much as they are on the offense. So with those two guys out of the game, Hickman County's defense really takes a hit that they really couldn't afford to have against a stout Fairview offense.
Yes, coming in here against a 3A opponent, injuries certainly are not something you want to see as a 2A school, a smaller team. And at this time, Hickman County hopefully can rally together and rally their troops together and work on their defense a little bit.
Well, and Jared, what I like looking at as well, you like looking at how you can make something positive out of a negative situation. So if we assess the game here thus far, here's how I think we can make a positive out of a negative situation. Yes, Andy Kraft is hurt. Yes, Aiden Spiegelmeyer is hurt. But what that means is that it forces some of these other guys on Hickman County's offense and their defense to step up and fill those roles, and the question now is, who will it be? There are a lot of guys I look to on that defensive side as well as offensive side, and one guy they called upon is John Michael Lewis. Of course, this young man has filled in as quarterback. We see him take reps, has a great arm in warm-ups, and I think it'll be only a matter of time until we start to see Lewis start to show off that arm a little bit. I think if Hickman County wants a shot at winning this game and coming back, I think they have to. They have to air it out. They have to make Fairview respect the pass if they ever want to get the run game going again. So I'm looking at John Michael Lewis to step up and to really be a leader. We know how much of a leader he is on defense and offense already, but now it's going to be taken up a notch.
Definitely, Josh. John Michael Lewis is definitely a leader in the locker room, and he's certainly stepped up for this team. And as for your point, airing it out, this offense, that is definitely a key for the Bulldogs, hopefully, in the second half. It can definitely play a big factor if the Bulldogs can get their pass game going in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. And some other guys I look at as well to really step up and be playmakers for this team. I mean, we call these guys' names earlier, but I look at number 26, A.J. Reich. He also can be a big presence for Hickman County on the defensive side of the ball. And we also saw the young guy, Jackson Mayberry, of course, a relative of yours. Jared, we called his name a little bit earlier on a tackle. He and Chase Sims are some big bodies that have been so potent on this Hickman County defensive side. So I look to see them have to step up as well if they want to stop this Fairview rushing attack that's been really thrashing Hickman County to this point, but still a lot of football left to be played. I have no doubt that Hickman County can step up, make a change. I trust these players, and I trust this coaching staff.
Definitely. Coaching staff and the players for Hickman County can definitely do a great job and hopefully come together in the second half and make some adjustments on the field and make it a close game.
And now, whenever you have injuries, Jared, when you force guys to step up into roles they weren't, maybe expecting so soon, it goes back to what Coach Smith was telling me a few weeks ago when I had a conversation with him. He said he loves the depth he has on this team, and he loves the freshman class. We know this freshman class was making waves last year as 8th graders. That middle school team was tough. They were a hard team to beat, and they were racking up wins. So take these guys, now they're freshmen. They're no longer the quote-unquote big men on campus, but that doesn't mean they can't make big plays. So I'm looking forward to seeing which freshmen will step up and fill the void that has been left by a few of these injuries. So right now we're looking At second half football on the horizon here in Williamson County. We were at Fairview High School, where the Hickman County Bulldogs looked to mount a comeback against these Yellow Jackets. They trailed by 20, your score 20-0. And Jared, thanks for joining us here on halftime.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Jared will resume his role as our cameraman. We thank him for his time here. It's always nice to talk a little football, to examine and to analyze this first half of play. It has been a busy day for football in the state of Tennessee. The Vanderbilt Commodores currently are playing the Virginia Tech Hokies. That should be a good ball game. So once things are wrapped up here, maybe hop over or dual stream. Have one game on your phone, one game on your TV. Who knows?
Bringing out the key for the Bulldogs, number 82.
The Tennessee Volunteers, in their second game of the season, picked up a victory over ETSU. With a final score of 72-17. And Tennessee Tech had a big win over UT Chad as well. Of course, that rivalry goes back to 1938, and what a game that was. And we are underway here in the second half from Fairview. And the Yellow Jackets will start things off. The return to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It's just Lambert to beat, and it looks like he is going to take it all the way to the house. And Lambert, with one final diving effort, couldn't quite bring him down. So Fairview will start things off hot with a touchdown.
Touchdown, the Yellow Jackets.
So John Barrick takes it to the house. An 80-yard return. The PAT try. Snap looked good, but whistles blow, and yet another penalty flies. And it will be against Fairview, so that will back him up. So it's like some premature movement up front.
Here we go, watch out. Look out, folks. Wow.
Rogers here to attempt the PAT.
Here we go, another one. You ready?
Snap is good. The hold looks good. The kick is up. And it's right down the middle. So Fairview extends their lead 27-0 over the Bulldogs after an explosive start to this second half.
Rogers' kick was good.
And just to give you a surefire score update, Vanderbilt currently trails Virginia Tech 10-20. That game is at the half. And the final score on that Tennessee Tech-Chattanooga game was 45-17 in favor of Tech.
Back deep for the Bulldogs, number 21, Braden Armstrong, number 36, Hayden Cannon.
Austin P. was also putting up a valiant effort against the fourth-ranked Georgia Bulldogs before that game was delayed due to weather. Of course, we know that all too well here in Middle Tennessee. So Hickman County now looking to answer back after Fairview took one to the house. A low line drive kick fielded. And that was McCaleb there on the return. He'll get back to the 25.
For the Bulldogs, that's Braden McCaleb. Tackle led by number 81, that's Josh Dawson for the Yellow Jackets.
Number 81, Josh Dawson there on the tackle for Fairview.
First down, Bulldogs on the 25.
So first down for the Dogs, the 25, snap. Lewis gives up the middle and not much happening for the Bulldogs. And McCaleb will get back to the line of scrimmage.
Tackle led by number 71, that's Hunter Onions for the Yellow Jackets.
So Hickman County wanting to establish the run early in the second half. And Lewis still at quarterback for the Dogs. Snap. He's going to give it. Once again, nothing going. Actually, a loss of one for the Dogs. Third down and 11. So an early third and long here for the Bulldogs. Lewis under center. Snap. Give. Armstrong. No, that's Street. A little bit of deception there from the Bulldogs. So Street gets a decent gain. Gets about 6 yards on the carry. Down about the 30-yard line. And it will bring up a punting situation for Hickman County. So a quick 3 and out for the Dogs, and it will force the defense back onto the field. And the punt is away. A high kick fielded by Lee at his own 40. Looks like a block in the back there, no call, and the flag finally comes out as Lee takes it into Bulldog territory, but that will be coming back.
Lee. On the return, tackle made by number 12, Braden McCaleb.
McCaleb was there on the tackle for Hickman County. This will be Fairview's first offensive series of the second half. And I want to remind you all that next week we will be back home at Kenneth Moe Wright Stadium outside of Hickman County High School, September 12th, Friday night at 7 p.m. Your Hickman County Bulldogs will be hosting Lewis County. So a big rivalry game there. I assure you, you will not want to miss it. If you can't be there in person, we will bring the action to you live on WNKX. First down play, given up the middle, not much going for the Jackets. Gets about 3 on the carry.
Harrison, number 2 on the carry. Tackle made by Host of Bulldogs.
Couldn't really give credit to one Bulldog there on the tackle. There was a whole gang of them there to try to stuff the run. Second down and 7 for Fairview. McCoy in the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Running back flanking him in the backfield. Snap. Give up the middle. Trying to find a lane. Nothing going, and Hickman County wraps him up.
Handoff to number 2, Bryson Harrison.
Sims there on the tackle.
Led by number 52, Chase Sims.
But also there helping Sims was Rain Ola. So a third down and 8 for the Jackets. Another run. Has a lane. Has enough for a first down in the Bulldog territory, 45-40. 35-30 down the sideline. Tries to stutter step, but Braden Armstrong wraps him up and takes him down at the 25-yard line. Fairview into plus territory.
Tackle made by number 21, Braden Armstrong. Armstrong.
So Fairview there, after a first half of making Hickman County respect the run, had that lane open because of that on a 3rd and long, which is typically a passing situation, but Fairview
From the 25-yard line.
taking advantage. So McCoy in the gun, 1st and 10. Snap, they're going to keep it on the ground. Has some room, sideline, 15, first down and more, down to the 10-yard line. That was freshman Carter on the carry.
Tackle led by number 21 for the Bulldogs, Brandon Armstrong.
So Fairview already in a commanding lead, up by 4 scores. Looking to add on. McCoy, snap. Another give on the ground. Lewis there on the tackle.
Bryson Harrison, number 2.
That was Bryson Harrison there, the sophomore on the carry. So 2nd down and goal from the 9-yard line. Snap. Fires. Open. Caught. Untouched. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
Number 11, John Barrett.
John Barrick with yet another touchdown reception. Rogers on to attempt the point after. The snap, good. Hold, good. The kick is low, off the crossbar, no good.
No good.
So the score will remain Fairview 33, Hickman County nothing. 6.5 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. After the Fairview touchdown drive, they're set to kick things away to the Bulldogs.
Tristan Rogers for the Yellow Jackets.
And the kick's away, a high booming kick. Fielded inside the 15, cut back inside. Nice spin move. Still on his feet, takes it down beyond the 25.
That's Ethan Howell. Emmett Sutton, number 17 on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
Ethan Howell, they're the freshman on the return. Pretty good return there, making guys miss. But there's a penalty marker down. And it'll be an unsportsmanlike conduct against Hickman County. And those are the kind of penalties that will drive a coaching staff absolutely wild. Those are the kinds of penalties that are pretty easily avoidable, but of course football, a very physical, emotional sport, and these things happen. And goodness gracious, Hickman County will start 1st down and a mile from the sticks. No, they readjusted the sticks. So I'll back them. It'll be a 1st and 10, but they are still backed up near their own goal line at the 14-yard line. Lewis under center, snap. Give, the end around. And he's swallowed up quickly by Fairview, no gain.
Hand off to number 6, that's Taylor Hutchison. Will Reynolds, 25.
So Hutchison there on the carry. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more, maybe a half yard, a foot or so on the carry. Snap. They're going to keep it on the ground with McCaleb.
Hand off to number 12, that's Brandon
Gets down to the
McCaleb.
20-yard line. Gets about 6 yards on the carry. 3rd down and 4 for the Dogs.
15, Taylor Kelly.
And we do have an update on Andy Kraft per Sheriff Jason Kraft. He is headed to get an x-ray with shoulder pain around the collarbone, so we know that's never good. So hopefully it's nothing too serious and Andy can return to action soon.
7 for the Yellow Jackets. That's Parker Jones.
And Hickman County on that 3rd down and 4 will move the chains for a 1st down at the 24. 4.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. And some motion here. Flags fly again. And it will be against the Bulldogs for a false start. Back them up 5. Gives up the middle, nothing going.
Brandon McCaleb, number 12 on the carry.
That was McCaleb on the carry. Got back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 15, Bulldogs. Snap. Another give up the middle. Oh, and a nasty hit there at the end. It looked like a couple of Fairview defenders might have collided. They're going to keep it on the ground with McCaleb. Pretty decent gain. Back to the original line of scrimmage for a 3rd and 10. Ball spotted at the 24-yard line. Lewis, snap, give, Armstrong. Has some blockers, but still well shy of the 1st down. Mark him down at the 30, 4th and 5.
Brandon Armstrong, number 21 on the carry.
Now there's a Bulldog on the ground. That's number 52, Chase Sims, clutching at his left leg. So when it rains, it pours, it seems like, for Hickman County. Already losing Spiegelmeyer and Kraft. Now another vital piece to this Hickman County team, Chase Sims. But Sims trying to stretch out his leg, maybe just a cramp. And the only word we have right now on Aiden Spiegelmeyer is potential broken arm. Nothing 100% yet. He is still being examined by medical staff. And Andy Kraft is being x-rayed for shoulder pain around his collarbone. And that is all we know right now regarding those two Bulldogs. And now with Sims down on the field, this we're unsure. And Sims is up on his feet with a bit of a limp, being helped off to the sideline, met with a round of applause from both Hickman and Fairview fan bases. So Sims, hopefully, not out for too long. So 4th down. And given the deficit, they will keep the offense on the field with 2.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Snap. Lewis on the keeper. Leveled by a few Yellow Jackets. No gain and turnover on downs. 1st down for the Yellow Jackets at the 30-yard line. So McCoy now in the gun.
1st down, Yellow Jackets from the 30.
His fullback lined up near him. 2 receivers, right, 2 left. Snap. McCoy looks to throw, fires. A low pass. The officials say incomplete, looking for Lee.
Pass hit number 18, Caden Lee.
So 2nd down and 10. Substitutions come out for both teams. Hickman County jumps, flag flies, move Fairview up 5 yards. It's a few times now that McCoy hard count has gotten the Hickman County defensive front. Looks to throw, fires, caught.
McCoy's pass complete to number 1, Zay Dowell. Tackle made by number 21, Brandon Armstrong.
Armstrong there on the tackle. Zay Dowell, the sophomore, there on the reception. Gets about 2.
2.
So 2nd down and 2 to go. The Fairview fullback subbing out. Hunter Nolan jogs to the sideline. 3 receivers wide right, 1 left. Snap. McCoy wants to throw. They're going to screen it, and there's nobody there. And he's going to coast on into the end zone for a Yellow Jacket touchdown. Bryson Harrison, the sophomore, on that running back screen. Hickman County unprepared for it. And that's an easy 6 for the Yellow Jackets. Rogers on now for the point after try after missing his last attempt off the crossbar. The snap is good. Hold looks good. The kick is up. And it's good.
Rogers' kick is good.
So Rogers makes it a 40-point game. Fairview 40, Hickman nothing. Still 1 quarter left to play here in Williamson County as that touchdown play would conclude our third quarter of action. At the end of 3, your score, Fairview 40, Hickman nothing. We'll be right back.
This broadcast of Friday Night Lights on WNKX is brought to you by Ascension St. Thomas Hickman Hospital. MLEC and ML Connect, your trusted source for power and broadband. Pizza Hut of Centerville. McDonald Funeral Home and the McDonald Family. Heritage Bank and Trust and Three Rivers Community Health Group in Lyles. We appreciate these trusted local businesses for making this broadcast possible. We will return in just a moment.
And welcome back to Fairview High School.
Back to the Bulldogs, number 36. Hayden Kennedy, number 12. Braden
McCaleb and Kennedy back deep for the Dogs. Rogers to kick. It's a booming kick. Muffed by Kennedy, but he recovers nicely. Jump cut, and he's hit and dropped at the 25. And that's where Hickman County will set up shop 1st and 10 as they look to erase the goose egg and prevent being shut out. With 11.5 minutes to play and with the mercy clock in effect, it will continue to wind.
First down Bulldogs, number 26. Last quarter, folks. Don't forget to make your way down to the zone concession stand. Also, folks, if you will, as we wind down, look around. Please don't leave any trash in your area.
Lewis under center, motion Street, snap, toss to Street. Tries to cut back up the middle.
5 on the carry, James Street.
Gets a few on the carry.
Tiger made number 17, Emmett
It's a
Sutton.
couple of yards. 2nd down and 8 for the Dogs. And if you really want to know the difference between a 3A and a 2A school, if you thought there wasn't much of one, I think Fairview might have more cheerleaders than we have players. So Lewis. Deception, give to Armstrong. Bounces outside, gets hit at the legs and taken down.
Tiger led by number 6, Madden Huffines.
And Huffines there on the tackle. So 3rd down and 8 for the Dogs. Looking to avoid a 3 and out. Under 10 minutes to play. Snap, Lewis gives. So the 3rd down carry goes for maybe a yard. They'll mark him down at the 30-yard line. 4th down and 6 for the Dogs. So while this game might be a foregone conclusion, these are still great learning moments for these players. You never want to go through the motions or hang your head. These reps still count. They can still mean something. Anything you can do to take momentum into next week can be a moral victory. Snap, Lewis gives, Armstrong cuts upfield, has some room. Plows through a hole just shy of the 40-yard line, down at the 38-yard line. And that will move the chains. Hickman County 1st down. So the 4th and long run play works. Under center, Lewis, snap. They're going to keep it on the ground, up the middle. Rumbling forward. close to the 45. That was McCaleb on the carry down at the 44-yard line. Gets about 6 on the carry. 2nd down and 4 for the Dogs. Eight minutes now to play, 40-0 in favor of Fairview. Your score, Lewis gives that street to the right. Gets down to maybe the 45 for a yard. So 3rd down and 3 for the Dogs. Snap, Lewis gives up the middle. Close to the line to gain. Will they give it to him? Depends on the spot. And the officials will say, move the chains, 1st down. Ball spotted at the 49-yard line. Hickman County close to plus territory. Lewis snap, whistle blows, flags are out. Some movement up front, false snow. And Fairview lined up offsides. So move it up 5 yards. So Hickman County now into Yellow Jacket territory at the 46. 1st down and 5 for the Dogs. Snap. Give to Street around the edge. Tries to jump cut inside, but he is upended after a gain of 2.
Jaden Street.
So Street, always such a hard runner, even late in the ball game. Snap, Lewis, give, Armstrong, tries to make a move, but he's met by a couple of Yellow Jackets. Not a lot going. They'll keep it at the 49 of Fairview. So we have 3rd down and 3 for the Dogs. Just over 5 minutes left to play. Lewis gives up the middle. And McCaleb's still on his feet, plowing ahead. Looked like he was lost in a pile of Fairview players, but he emerges, able to bounce it around to the left side. What a play by Braden McCaleb. Not quite enough for a 1st down, but that was still pretty fun to watch. So 4th down and 1 for the Dogs. The offense, of course, stays on the field. And while we can look at this game and think about what Hickman County hasn't done so well, I think also at the same time we have to give credit to Fairview. Coach Hughes and his guys were well prepared. They're a very talented ball team. I expect to see them have a lot more success as this season goes along. But 4th and 1 for the Dogs. Lewis under center. And how about that? Now it's Hickman County getting Fairview to jump off sides, and that should move the chains for the Dogs. So 1st down, moving forward 5. Ball spotted now at the 37. Under 4 minutes to play. If you're listening on the radio, your score, Fairview 40, Hickman County nothing. Lewis snaps, wants to throw, has time, fires, caught by McCaleb for a 1st down.
15, Taylor Kelly.
So McCaleb with a nice reception there. A penalty was thrown at the end of the play there, potentially against Fairview. Waiting for the official ruling. There'll be a personal foul horse collar against the Yellow Jackets, so move them even closer to the end zone. That should put Hickman County inside the red zone with 3 minutes to play. A nice pass by Lewis. Nice reception by McCaleb. Perhaps we may see more of that.
If you guys will scatter out, make one round, and there are a couple of trash cans there by the scoreboard.
Snap. Lewis again wants to pass. Had nothing there, tries to tuck it and keep it himself. He might lose maybe a yard on the keeper.
4 on the keeper, John Michael Lewis.
But Lewis, of course, showing his experience there as a football player, not wanting to force anything. The last thing you want after a ball game that has not gone your way is to end it on a negative note. You want to end it with at least something positive. And a touchdown would be just that to take with them next week at home against Lewis County. Snap. Lewis. Loose ball. Fumble. It's a scrap for the football, and the officials say Fairview has it.
Parker Jones on the fumble recovery.
Parker Jones of the Yellow Jackets on the recovery.
That's one more, Eric Kelly group. The Yellow Jacket first down.
So the hits just keep on coming.
Your Yellow Jacket JV will play here Monday night at 6, and next Friday night versus Glencliff is right here at home.
Hickman County experiencing a little bit of Murphy's Law here, it seems like, in Williamson County. What can go wrong will go wrong. Snap. They're just going to keep it on the ground to run this clock out. No gain there. Hickman County wraps him up. And it seems like Fairview has substituted some of their backups, get their younger guys some reps. Hickman County, I'm sure, is doing the same.
26, correction. That's AJ
Under a minute to play. Reich was there on the tackle. So Hickman County still keeping some of their experienced guys in there on defense. Snap. They're going to give on the end around. A lot of space. Makes a move. Down the sideline, close to midfield, ran out of bounds at the 45.
Sean Brown, 35 on the carry for the Yellow Jackets.
That was number 35, Deshaun Brown, the sophomore receiver on the end around. He'll get down to the 44. And that will be the final play of the game as the teams now line up. And they prepare to shake hands at midfield. So this game, while it did not go Hickman County's way, all you can do is look ahead to next week. It's a big rivalry game against Lewis County at your home field. You know you're going to have a packed house, a lot of fans, students, parents alike going to show up and show out next week for these dogs. That much I can assure you. But all you can do this next week of practice is learn from this game and try to be better than you were. I know Coach Smith and his assistant coaches will have a game plan ready to go for next Friday night as your Hickman County Bulldogs will play host to the Lewis County Panthers. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we will bring you the action next Friday. The stream will begin at 6:45 p.m. with kickoff set at 7 p.m. We encourage you to be there, but if you can't, tune in to the live stream where you won't have to miss a single second of action. We appreciate your support for tuning in tonight to WNKX, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or the radio. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to keep growing this station to provide the best viewing experience for you guys, because it's what these young men that work so hard on the field deserve. But your final tonight from Fairview, Yellow Jackets 40, Bulldogs nothing. And that will do it for us. I've been Josh Copley on WNKX Live. We'll see you next week. But until then, we bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night.